Hi, I'm Erik Voss, and we just got our first look at the Wonder Woman sequel, titled Wonder Woman 1984. Two interesting photos were released along with the movie's title, establishing the movie in the year 1984 during the Reagan years in the Cold War. Surprisingly, there's a lot to unpack from these images, and some details that you might have missed, so let's look closely at them and break it all down. The first image was released by director Patty Jenkins, who is returning to direct the sequel. It shows Steve Trevor, Chris Pine. Yeah, this is odd, because Steve Trevor definitely appeared to die in a plane explosion at the end of the first movie, which was set in World War I, nearly 70 years before this sequel is set. So how is he alive? Why hasn't he aged at all? Now, it makes sense that Diana wouldn't have aged much during this time jump. She is an Amazonian of Themyscira, daughter of Zeus, and she was apparently close to 800 years old during the first Wonder Woman movie. Trevor is another story, surviving a plane death in a world war and waking up the same age 70 years later. Haven't we already seen a captain do that? Maybe Trevor's life could have been spared through some divine intervention, like Zeus pulling him up from the underworld. Or magic. This movie's working title is Magic Hour. Maybe that's connected somehow. Or maybe we're looking at Trevor's grandson, who just looks a lot like him. I kind of like the theory that Trevor could be some kind of spirit guide who's just in Diana's mind. That could explain why his wardrobe is so stereotypically 80s. Like he's wearing a members only jacket. It's a youngster style. Also, some other set photos feature him wearing a fanny pack. Oh, by the way, in that photo, Diana's wardrobe with a white collar and blue pinstripe vest and a beige jacket is a nod to an outfit worn by Linda Carter on the original Wonder Woman TV series. But when it comes to Steve, it's a little hard to tell sometimes the difference in 80s TV shows and movies between characters wearing the type of clothes that people actually wore day to day in the 80s, or when it's kind of a parody of those times, like an 80s themed prom night.
Man, I would lose that glove, you look nuts.
There are also some rumors that Cersei might be a villain in the sequel, and she's a character who has magical powers that could produce some kind of mind trick on Diana. But we have learned that Cheetah will be a villain in the movie, played by Kristen Wiig. Whatever is going on here, Steve Trevor definitely looks like a fish out of water. Look at the background, that is a shopping mall, which is another thing that had its heyday in the 80s that's becoming less and less common nowadays. Thanks, Amazon. Just kidding, I think it's clear we don't go there because of the kids. Steve Trevor's kind of a reverse Marty McFly here. He's a guy wandering in a strange new time. But instead of an 80s kid who's confused in the 50s, Trevor is a 19-teens guy confused in the 80s. He also appears to be walking into an ice cream shop, which could be setting up a callback to the ice cream scene in the first movie.
You should be very proud.
But let's move on to the other photo released by Gal Gadot herself, showing Diana in front of a bunch of TV monitors. If you look closely at these screens, several of them feature references to 80s pop culture. On the left is the character J.R. Ewing, played by Larry Hagman on the TV series Dallas in the 80s. He was the villainous character who was shot, leading to the Who Shot J.R. phenomenon. Then to Diana's left, you can see Christy Brinkley from National Lampoon's Vacation in the scene where she drove the red Ferrari alongside Clark Griswold during the road trip. The others are a bit harder to identify specifically. I initially thought the upper one could be from the Duran Duran Rio music video, or maybe something from Robin Leach's Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And the jet beside it I thought could be from Top Gun, but that actually came out in 1986, 2 years after this movie's set. And then in the bottom right, looks like something from the 1980s Cola Wars, where Pepsi and Coke were at each other's necks with new splashy commercials. Perhaps this could be something from the Michael Jackson Pepsi commercials. And then to the left of it is something with a mohawk, probably from some 80s punk music video. Overall, I'm not sure if this image of Diana is actually from the movie. It could just be something to promote the fact that the sequel is set in the 80s. Really, I'm saying that because I don't know why Diana would be so mystified here. Remember, the ending of Wonder Woman left her fighting crime in man's world. She would have seen how human technology and culture would evolve firsthand, instead of this look of shock like she's Daryl Hannah's character from Splash or Mila Jovovich from The Fifth Element. Some people are comparing this shot of Diana to the images of Adrian Veidt, Ozymandias from The Watchmen, or Batman and Lucius Fox in The Dark Knight, or The Architect in The Matrix Reloaded. Honestly, the image of a character in front of a ton of screens showing different stuff has shown up in a lot of movies. But to some people, it's suggesting that Diana may be facing some kind of technology-based threat, like perhaps the villain Dr. Cyber from the Wonder Woman comics. Dr. Cyber is known for having an armored suit that enhances her abilities, and recent versions of the character have made her an AI-type being that can hack any technology, perhaps making her a threat to ICBM technologies during the Cold War. Really, as we wait wait for a trailer to come out and to clear up some of this stuff and the movie itself to debut in November 2019, a question I have for you guys. Do you think Steve Trevor did die in the plane and now we're just seeing him reanimated or brought back in some way here? Or do you think he somehow escaped and parachuted to safety? Comment with your thoughts and theories down below, or tweet me directly at Erik Voss, and follow New Rockstars on Twitter for updates on our videos. Like and share this video and subscribe to New Rockstars for deep dives into the DC Cinematic Universe. We did a full breakdown of Wonder Woman when it came out last year and Justice League, and we'll have some stuff coming out soon about Aquaman and a look back at the Nolan Batman trilogy. Look, we know Marvel's been hogging the dance floor and you DC fans have been stuck over by the punch bowl, but don't worry, your song's coming up. We got you here at New Rockstars, so stay tuned and thanks for watching this video. Bye.